Hello, 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 hello. Test 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Starting soon. Pro streamer. Is the sound okay? It should be. How the freak do we do that again? Right. And here. Yes. Readability 5. Nice. Oh god, I'm so small. Oh, what the hell? Nope. Uh, ish. Yeah, it's okay. All right. So, welcome to Aviators TV. Today we are going to do a flight with the ATR and see what's going on with that plane. Because I've done 2 flights already, and both of them were perfect. So I'm trying a difficult one-ish. So starting from obviously Edinburgh. I mean, right? It's me. And we are going to the Isle of Man. So it's a slightly more complicated approach to see how that goes. All right, so in the cockpit, my first grip with it is that the camera, what the hell? It's like, look, it's like I'm sitting in the middle of the seat. So that's the first thing. Is bring the camera back a little bit, maybe like this. Hey, yeah, and but aside from that, it's well. First, if we take a look at the cockpit itself, it's looking pretty darn good. So that's the default colors, by the way, and that's with a little bit of reshading. So actually, I'm not seeing anything, so I'm going to remove that. My eyes are a little bit tired today. All right, so we have an EFB, a very simple one. Like the only thing that you can do literally is setting up the ground power. Let's open the doors. Why not? Do some kind of maintenance and set up some basic stuff. It's extremely basic. All right. And also there's some help for you to understand how to use the touchscreens, because apparently these are touchscreens. I didn't know that. I'm not sure that it's actually the case. I will have to check that. But yeah, then the throttle setup. It's if you have the CRJ, that's exactly the same thing. Like literally exactly the same thing. The only difference being that obviously since it's turboprop, you're supposed to have a range here between the ground idle and the reverse for taxiing. And right now I can't have that unless I put the reverser axis on here. So my throttle here is going to have the full axis. Oh, by the way, I haven't shown you, but I have some kind of ATR setup for my let me show you if I can without killing anything. All right, do we see that? Nah, we don't see anything. But yeah, I have these big throttles here. All right, flaps and condition levers. Okay, so nothing too fancy, but it's doing the job. That's what I used to have on how's it called? Explain for the Q400. It's working pretty well. So what else? So yeah, my only issue is we should have a way, just like the Q400 in Explain, to be able to move these, because I can go past, but I'm going straight into reverse, obviously. And this is not what we want to do. We should have a way to go between ground idle and reverse. And we don't at the moment, but I'm pretty sure At some point it will come, or it's even there. It's there already, and I just haven't found how to do that. But aside from that, it's working great. If I'm pushing my condition lever to the off position, everything works. See, I can go into auto, I can go into 100% override. Everything is fine. Flaps obviously working pretty fine. The only weird thing is it's very Airbusy. So you have two detents also. You have this one, which I think is called the... Wait, it's actually here somewhere. Yeah, the notch, which is supposed to be the flight position. You are always in there. And then you just switch your power management with that button on that aircraft. So right now, see, I'm going through them a little bit too easily. That's the notch. But what I can do is actually increase the size of it. So, whoops, to increase it a little bit, because that's basically the biggest one that I need. Okay, so if I do OK now and I press that thing, I really can stop exactly there. I could also increase a little bit more. So yeah, you need to be able to go in there because that's basically your normal power setting. Obviously all of that is for landing. But see, there's no detent there. So it's really... Yeah, it's not always about the size of the notch, exactly. And then you obviously have the go-around power, which is around here. And then you have the max power in case of whatever emergency. But yeah, at least the 42 is already pretty damn powerful. So going around is actually kind of a hustle against the aircraft. But anyway, let's turn it on. So pretty easy, like anything else. You turn the battery on, you turn the APU on. By default, you have the nav and the beacon light on, which is weird. But I'm pretty sure it's going to get fixed as well. It's going to be pretty damn loud. So just a sec, I'm going to put that back down. What the frick is that music? Thank you. Alright. Overhead panel is pretty straightforward if you have flown any type of Bombardier plane. It's exactly the same, pretty much. It's like an Airbus, so everything white is not good. Needs to be not white, but that's pretty much the same thing. So you have your fuel management here, lighting, internal lighting, external lighting, engine start. You don't have an APU, doesn't need it. Electrical power, more electrical power, hydraulics, anti-ice, all of that. Your passenger signs, and all the bleed there. So it's pretty simple. And then what's really crazy about this aircraft are these 5 humongous things here. Because they, well, first they are touchscreen, as you can see. So I'm in map right now, so I could zoom. That's crazy. Like, you can actually zoom onto the taxiways and stuff. Like, hello. It's yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's yeah, it's a touch screen, so sometimes it's doing some weird stuff, but it's working pretty well, I think. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to like reload everything, but yeah. Then so you have the flight management computer, which is working perfectly fine. So the way you do this is you go into the post init first, like pretty much every plane. You put the GPS coordinates, you init the sensors, then you go into the nav data, you make sure that you have everything current, which we do. Then you init your flight plan. So in our case, we're going to be doing Echo Golf Papa Hotel to Echo Golf November Sierra. Right there. I don't think it has SimBrief integration yet, nor does it have data link, because that aircraft can have data link. See, you have the message here. Another message, the button to acknowledge here. So I'm guessing it will come later. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So once you have done that, you go exec, and then you have the regular Airbusy like ish. So we would go 06 for instance. It's the Tala departure. It's here. All right. Then after Tala, you can click here. You have all your things to like overfly, hold, and everything. You can go into the airway. We're going to the November 864. Then we are going to Dean's Cross. Can exec. I'm not quite sure of what this is. I'm guessing it's the next one if you want to go after that, if you want to go somewhere. But we don't need that, obviously, because we stop at Dean's Cross and then we go to the Isle of Man. So that would be India, Oscar, Mike VR. Alright, very Airbusy, yeah. It's completely Airbus. I mean, it's French, so and partly French, partly Italian, I think. I mean, pretty much like Airbus. So pretty sure at some point they have shared stuff. So it's the exact same thing. By default, it's going to go on the star list if you had some. Then you have the transitions. You click on there. We're going to do the Romeo Oscar November Yankee 1. And that's it. Hey, Batezi, what's up? Welcome on this ATR flight. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then if I can recall how to do that. Yeah, there we go. We have the ND here. Can increase like the range and everything. Whoops. So yeah, the click spots are a little bit annoying sometimes. Obviously, you could switch also that with just buttons, you know. I think it's here, yeah. So you have all of that. Yep, that was right there. I'm guessing the ATR isn't in Xbox. I don't know. Maybe it is. See, you can click like all the things, so you can switch between. Oh, it's okay. It's click spots on the corners of the. All right. So if I click here, I go back to system. Get it. And if I click here, I'm back on the charts, which somehow sometimes are not loading up. I don't know if the ATR is on the Xbox or not. I'm guessing at some point it will be. I don't see why not. So yeah, we have our flight plan. Then it's even more Airbusy than an Airbus. I mean, the A350 I think does that, and the Neos. But now you have all the checklists that you can do. So it's pending stuff. It's telling you what you need to do to move on, basically. The aircraft itself. So it's pretty cool. I haven't flown it on VATSIM yet. Maybe you could do that. Actually, yeah, I'm not flying it on VATSIM yet. Still not completely comfortable with it. Oh, Harry, hey, what's up? But yeah, everything is super familiar. Like, it's instantaneous. I didn't even have to look at the manual. It's like for 5 minutes you're looking for something, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's how it works. And then what's crazy is all of this, right? So for instance, I can go here and type 1228. It's just like the Challenger. You don't have to type the whole thing. 1228 is going to understand that you want 122.8. Then you click that there to switch. When did you start streaming again? Like 10 minutes ago. Basically. And that's pretty much it. Right, so 1215 for guard. 1215, enter. There, thank you. And yeah, that's, you know, it instantly became my favorite plane when I flew on it, because it's like the feeling of it is just insanely good. I'm going to remove the SVS because I really don't like that. There we go. So I think it's 10:18 right now in Edinburgh. That's not this guy. That's this guy. Airbus-like features makes me, yeah, you'll see, it's insane. It's really good. Um, so that's one thing. Let's finish that up first. So once you have your flight plan, obviously the next thing to do is the perfs. So you go into the menu. What are you doing? Hello. Oh yeah, this thing locks up. I think it's a bug. Does look like a bug for sure. It locks up there on the route select on this FMC. So I have to do everything here now. Weirdly enough. I sent you a message about the Logan. We'll try to go. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure there's already one on flightsim.to. But yeah, it's just that yours are really high quality, so you know. So yeah, then you initiate your weight. So let's. The maximal zero fuel weight of this thing is 16.7 tons kilograms. I have 16,400 here. You go there, and the fuel on board is 1329. That's from SimBrief, by the way. It's going to calculate for you the gross weight and then the trim that you need. Also, it's going to show here. Sorry, there we go. Here it's going to give you your CG and everything, and you know, all the speeds and everything that you need. It's going to obviously give you your takeoff data. Everything is calculated for you. So if you go into perf here, transition flight, actually altitude is going to be 6,000. It's giving you everything here. Cruise altitude is 17,000. And that's pretty much it. We have set up everything that we need. Then you have the direct TO that everybody knows from, you know, the Bombardier planes. You have VNAV, like not the Bombardier VNAV, an actual VNAV. So it's working with constraints and everything on the way up and down, not just on the way down. So that's working pretty well. That's your GPS positions and stuff, but yeah, you could switch on the radio here if you wanted. By the way, let's put ATC code. There we go. I could make the Logan French baguette livery. Yeah, yeah. Why not? A specific one just for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're ready to go. So we need to close everything. There we go. So once that's all done, what you need to do is starting the aircraft. So first is extinguishing everything that is white. It's going to turn possibly amber once you cut the external power, but that's normal. Everything is fine. So let's go with the beacon. Kill that. Pre-plan the pushback. Pushback toolbar is working fine. GSX I haven't tried because I hate GSX at the moment, so I'm not even trying. But this guy works really fine. So the guy is going to come. Everything is fine. You don't need anything really. You need to turn that to the start position and then just wait for confirmation that you can actually go. Move that. I forgot to set up my MCP, but we'll do that just after that. It's fine. It released the parking brake, which is that guy here. And hold, and there we go. So we start the engine 2. And you come here, wait for 10% here on the NH. Once it's here, you move the fuel forward. Let me give you the sounds. And everything is going to come back online. Hello, I'm streaming. What's up? Ow.
The sugar.
Yeah, so hi wife. The screens, everything is going to come back online. Need to turn that on again. So that's one. Once it's at 69% here and you have your screens back, you can start the engine number 2. This is Hina, yes. There we go. We have the screens back. Then you can start number 1. Again, wait for 10% here on the engine. There we go. Switch that on. Parking brake. I just don't have the time, plus not really in a good take. My mom had a funny turn today and got took into the hospital. Oh, I hope. Yeah, good mood. I hope she's good. She's doing fine now. Yeah, also my parents are starting to have a lot of stuff. I guess I'm reaching the age at which these things tend to happen, sadly. We really don't need a course right now because we already have one. We are going to switch to 160 on the speed because that's the climbing speed of the ATR42, and then we'll switch to the VNAV speed. Everything will be fine. There we go. If it's purple here, that means you are in the computed mode, so the automatic mode is going to calculate everything for you. Alright, she's gone. Flaps 15. Unlock that guy here. Actually, we don't really need that yet. We need that on the runway. Then, my favorite moment, when we turn on that thing. Listen. That's literally perfect. It's exactly like the sound of the ATR. It's even better in the obviously in the cabin, because we do have a cabin. So then it's telling me to do some stuff, but I'm going to clear it because we don't really need it right now. And that's it. You're set up to go. It's that simple. The only thing that we need now is to be able to turn on the obviously the TCAS once we are on the runway. But that's it. So now we release the parking brake. Obviously, it's going to go forward by itself. I'm not doing anything. And it's going to accelerate quite a bit. So that's the only issue I have right now, is I need to be able to, you know, not have to go into reverse to brake, but actually use a ground idle range. And I can't at the moment, but I'm pretty sure again that there is a way to do that. I just haven't found that yet. Much easier than the... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yes, it is. Not the wing, sorry. Yeah. It's not even close. And the power management on the Q400 is pretty easy to do, but the whole flight planning and everything, this is a nightmare. Like, the computer is super bad. How much is the ATR? It's at 10 quids right now. 10, 1-0. So nothing, basically, for what you're getting. Yeah. It really is. So I'm going to set the pitch. It was up or down? Up. So that's the pitch. And yeah, so it's going to accelerate by itself to almost 20 knots, which I mean is okay for ground speed, but again you have to use the brakes to slow down, which is not usual for a turboprop airliner. Yeah, how much? 10 quids fall down the stairs, exactly. I need to set up the altitude. So yeah, there's also another thing is, but that's specifically for Honeycomb Bravo's owners, is your Honeycomb Bravo autopilot panel is not working by default. You have like to redo everything, just like the... It's not like the 737 where it works right away. It's like the Phoenix. You need to redo everything, and that's pretty annoying. But aside from that, yeah, it's doing pretty fine. Alright, here we go. So turn on the transponder lights. The clock is somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that didn't work. Well, never mind. Yeah, it's looking good. Alright, and then what you have to do is push the throttle into the good position, which is just before the... Yeah, there, a little bit too much. Yeah, there we go. And you don't move it anymore, just like on an Airbus. Obviously this thing is like accelerating pretty fast. And we are at maximum weight at the moment, almost. Off the ground, almost by itself. Gear up. We go nav, VNav. Does handle very well. Trying to figure out every time where the map is. There we go. That flaps up. Then we go to climb. It's a little bit gusty in Edinburgh at the moment. Okay, let's go on to the autopilot. There we go. So see now, I just moved that into climb. I have that on also on the binding. And it's going to do everything for you. So right now it's going to stop at 6,000 because that's our maximum. I'm in VNav, so you'll see it will stop at 6,000. Obviously I will have to throttle back. Thanks. The crewman has arrived. No props, no 900. What do you mean? So yeah, it's going to accelerate quite a bit, so we will need to reduce that. Um, let's take a direct, shall we? Let's go. Let's go to Unuro. And let's climb as well. I'm going to go IIS this time. So it's going to go back by itself to 160, which is the optimal speed. So I can bring that back to the notch. It says here, notch. The Dash 8 on FSX had the power on the pedestal, and people always misclicked when reducing power to props. Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't need that. The only thing you need to do is turn that thing from takeoff to climb, and it's going to do everything by itself. It's it's that simple, really. And yeah, you're gone. So yeah, let me reduce the sound of the simulator. Oh, there we go. That's way better. Put some music back. There we go. So yeah, these are always in auto pretty much, unless you have an emergency. These are always there, unless you are landing, pretty much. And that's it. That really is it. It's that simple. And when you are in VNav, it's going to manage, and you need to be also in auto here. With that small button here, it's going to manage by itself. So 160 in a climb, and then it's going to go to whatever the max cruise is for your altitude. 17,000, I think, is going to be 240 or something. And this is going to adjust by itself. Like, you don't need to do anything, even in cruise. That's disgustingly more simple than... Yes, I agree. I agree. I got my crew meal, so... I'm also going to eat at the same time. And I tapped something. Yep. Ah. So yeah, there we go. Obviously it gives you the TOD. Oh. You like the Airbus? Mainly, I guess, because you don't have to set up anything for, you know, the arrival, like ILSs and stuff. See this thing? The tick here into auto. It does the exact same thing. So it tracks every VOR DM or DME on your way and sets that up. So you have a reference, just like the Airbus, and once you are until the approach, it also puts the ILS. Then the only thing you have to do is switch there to whatever this is. Actually, it's going to be in the Isle of Man. It's going to be 111.15, which is going to be set up here. By default, I tend to still have it here. So there we go. Enter. So I have it. And if I want to switch, I can. This is basically a mix between the Challenger 650 that we have in X-Plane, the Q400, and an Airbus A320. It's just crazy to me how good this is. The cabin isn't like, it's not Phoenix tier. It's actually, yeah, it's you know, not super detailed or whatever. Like the textures are okay. I mean, they do the job for when you want to go here to come here. Outside, to me, the aircraft is pretty fine. I mean, that's the job. Oh. So let's watch what happens when we... So we are in All-Star right now. Oh, I forgot the... Oops. The standard. The pilot models. Oh yeah. These are the default ones. But yeah, the external model is, I think, completely fine. Like, obviously it's not like the best thing you have ever seen. But it does the job, right? Like, it's still better than pretty much everything that you could have on, I don't know, X-Plane or whatever. And even if some of them are on X-Plane 12 now are pretty damn good. But yeah, again, it's not like the Phoenix, for sure, but nothing beats the Phoenix, honestly, graphically. It does the job. It's not even passable, it's okay, it's good. The MD-82, the Leonardo, is passable. That's one that is passable. The cockpit is perfectly fine. Like, it seems a little bit rugged. See, there's like some dirt and stuff. It's not high quality, whatever, but it's okay. Yeah, so again, we have captured the altitude, and now it's switched to the maximum cruise speed. You could also go long range if you wanted to, but I think like nobody does that. And yeah, it's going to reach 245 and then adjust to stick there without you having to do anything. Oh, the ET actually worked. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It really is fine. Let's take a direct to the Isle of Man. Actually, I have a disco here. There we go. It looks okay. Again, not the Phoenix, not the PMDG 737. The cockpit model of the 737 is really good. It has some like really weird stuff sometimes on the texturing, like here, for instance. If I can, oh god, show you here. See? Ah, fuck! Come on. There, like it looks weird, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It can do holds and that. Yes, yes, it can. I did a hold over Tartan on my flight into Edinburgh. But why you do that? If we wanted to have one at the Isle of Man, for instance, it's just like here. And you have your legs, your turn that you can switch like this. Just like an Airbus, really. Your inbound course, the speed, and then you exec, and then it's going to create one. And then on your here you will have on the right an exit, just like the Airbus again. The only thing I'm not sure about is this. I don't know why the second FMC is not working. Is it a bug or not? I don't know. Oh, and we have a working weather radar as well, by the way. But it's not going to see anything right now because obviously like everything is fine over Scotland. But it is working. And it's working like the one in the A310, so it's working. I am, man. Just a good aircraft. And again, it's 10 quids. Like, some of these developers that are not Asobo are going to make you pay like 20 for something that is not even like a tenth of what you get for this. I don't know, Captain Sim, for instance. So, yeah. I'm not quite sure I understand the complaints I've seen. Like, Dino sent that, where people are like, I can't even get the thing off the ground, the FMS froze on me once. I was unable to change the nav screen on the PDF. I guess yours, the PFD. SimBrief integration, that's true. It's not there. It is in the CRJ, so there's no cargo version. That's also true. So you can do like WestJet or whatever. But yeah, for $10, like, Jesus Christ. Many of us are having issues regarding throttles using controller and constantly wants to run in reverse when maxed out forward thrust. I mean, that's on you, dude. You're flying an aircraft with, you know, this. Like, I'm sorry, but, you know. Also, I'm pretty sure it's an axis issue, not even the... No integration with SimBrief or World Map Planner. Oh yeah, so... You know, there's this thing in MSFS where you can plan your thing in the world map, and then when you start, it's already in the computer. It's not working for this plane. I tried. I'm never using that anyway, because I tend to either use the SimBrief integration or just like type. You know? Just type the freaking flight plan in the thing. You need to know how to do that anyway. I think. If you want to fly, I mean, it's supposed to be a pro series, so you're supposed to be pro at that, right? It's aimed at people that are supposed to know how to fly a virtual aircraft. So I really don't have an issue with that. What else did we see? It seems to have no VNAV anyway. That's not true, as we just saw. Like, it does the altitude constraints and everything. So we are supposed to be over. Let's actually see. Yeah, we have a constraint at 3000 on the... Oh, actually, that's not on the Isle of Man. Oh yeah, on the Isle of Man VOR. So let's check that. Do we have that? No, we don't. Let's input that in as a hard constraint. There we go. You also have like step climbs and everything. You have everything. I climbed out of what is it in Stansted that has like 3 step climbs, one of the departures anyway. You see what I mean? It's working fine. Like, it's really working fine. And it's going to, like, let's say we want to be at 160. Why not? Over the VOR. It's going to respect that in VNAV. I'm going to input, like, purposefully 2000, and you'll see it will stop at 2000. And the TOD is on point. It's going to be exactly where it's supposed to be. See, I haven't changed anything. It's slightly under the speed. I read that it happens a lot, so it's fine. I quickly checked also the manual of the aircraft, the real one, I mean, and the figures are pretty on point at these altitudes, and yeah, these temps, 280 to 300 pretty much on the ATT in cruise. The climb, yeah, I mean, not the climb. Oh, I should have moved that to cruise actually. Yeah, see, it's going to increase a little bit, so that's why we're slightly below the speed. It's because I wasn't in cruise. So the aircraft knows. It knows what it's supposed to be doing. Let's just make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Have I pushed the thing a little bit too far? Yep, I think so. Am I nudge? Okay, no, I wasn't. Okay, that would be why. But yeah. There we go. Slightly more. There we go. It's going to hold that. Perfectly fine. Everything is good. I have a slight difference on the power. That's also fine because we have the winds from the east. So the winds are coming from the east, so that's normal that this thing is a little bit higher. Yeah, I hope that we're going to see it a lot. Because it really is completely fine. It's flying really well. But so yeah, obviously the circuit breakers and everything that doesn't work. But I mean, except from the the Q400 and X-Plane and the Challenger 650, who does that, right? I'm looking at what Dino is saying. Let's check. Autopilot. While an approach selecting VNAV will not cause it to arm and trigger a descent. VNAV cannot be coupled with approach mode. That's normal. To engage the autopilot to fly a GPS glide slope. Because that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to use VNAV, not approach. Oh, these are the known issues. I haven't had that. I haven't had that. VNAV cannot be coupled with approach mode to engage autopilot to fly a GPS. That's not how you're supposed to fly a GPS RNAV. I mean, you're supposed to be in RNAV, not APP. APP is strictly for the ILS. At least that's what I read in the manual, the actual manual of the actual aircraft. The hold, I did a hold. It went fine. That's it. That really is it. So I'm not sure. Alright, so we have the... Let's untick auto. Put that here. And in here have the Isle of Man. So 1, 1, 2, 2. Enter. There we go. We can have the bearings here and here. We almost are at the top of descent. We'll be engaging and flying with the heading, and not the VNAV. I mean the LNAV. I'm going to input, as I said, 2000. Hmm. There's one thing that I haven't checked is where is the VNAV supposed to tell us the mileage to the top of descent? Mm-hmm. I don't know. The progress part? There we go. 12 miles. Okay. Hina World Update 13 just released as well. Yeah, I have the World Update 13, but it's in Oceania, so I mean technically I'm from there. I'm from French Polynesia. I mean it doesn't show on my face because my parents are not Polynesian, but that's where I was born and raised. So maybe I will fly there at some point. We'll see. Alright, so let's engage VNAV. And we'll see what it does. So obviously that's the Isle of Man. But Tika should not be above. Should be below now. Should be able to switch that somewhere. Or maybe not. Alright, let's sync up the heading. Like this. And go heading like this. Should be descending now. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. It's a little bit abrupt. I didn't see the other time, the last time, because I was looking outside. It goes down a little bit, yeah, abruptly. It's following the 1.5 to 2,000 feet per minute, so that's good. That's expected. Let's keep some speed up though. So obviously you need to manage the speed on descent yourself with the throttle. It's not going to do that for you. Actually, if I'm in notch, I haven't tried that. Is it going to go over speed? Yeah, looks like it. By reflex, I didn't do that the last time. Yeah, so it does have some protections. Yeah, I did that by default because I'm always flying my descents with my throttle manually, even on the 737 on the or the Airbus, just for training. But yeah, it's going to tell you like, hey, your throttle is too high, and if you keep the throttle and it's trying to overspeed, it's going to do the Airbus thing of pitching up, so you don't overspeed the aircraft. But obviously, you're going to mess up your descent. All right, so once we are over the VOR, we are going to be... all right, so first let's input, so that's 084 on the course here. This way. That's weird because the previous flight, what did I do on the previous flights? Because it was keeping the speed. I don't recall. That's something I missed on this flight. I mean, technically it's showing me the speed I'm supposed to be at, which is good. Because that's what I asked it. I said 160. There's something I missed. I just don't recall what. So yeah, after that we are going to turn to 254. Oh yeah, no, the approach is on to the... Yeah, I need to do a direct there. To the runway, actually. Let's go VNAV. Not VNAV, sorry. Nav. Just need to intercept. There we go. Right, so yeah, after that we need to go 254. Actually, we could go 234. Bit more. So yeah, I lost the VNAV because I messed up the... It's fine. Let's actually go to 3000. And let's slow down as well. My wife wants to fly in an ATR now to Edinburgh. Hey, I understand. I mean, it's pretty chill. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not capturing the... Yeah, because I'm... Yeah, there we go. I was still in ILS. But yeah, now it's going to go to fly exactly what it's supposed to fly. And I guess that's also why the VNAV was dead. Yep, there we go. Yep. Alright, so we can actually go down to 2000. Not quite sure what the meta is in... Let's see. Airports, Isle of Man. Weather. 1019. Can do that as well. That might be what people are saying is messed up. Is the they are saying that this is messed up. Possibly, I don't know. We'll go into IAS anymore anyway. With the speed of 170, but I will slow down to 160. So our speed for landing is 111. Alright. Let's sync the heading, go into heading. Because this here is weird. Shouldn't be doing that. We'll keep that heading for now because I think yeah, that's not correct. But that's, I mean, that's present on pretty much every new plane. It gets fixed in the first update. It's the curve is not computed properly. There's one thing that you can do on the Airbus and the 737. I'm not sure we can do that on the ATR. Maybe we can actually. I don't know. Is you know, inputting like range rings over a waypoint. Maybe we can. I don't know. I have no idea. Definitely not that. So, you know, actually V-app is 103. Interesting. Oh, that's the V go around. Yeah, no, okay, never mind. Yeah, 103. Alright. Yeah, gotcha. Alright, so now we can start turning and fly some kind of 8 DME arc-ish. Yeah, we are on the leg, but it's doing some weird stuff. Yeah, let's go 330 for now. That's good enough. Do 103 in Airbus and you're dead. If you're very light, possibly. I don't know. I'm not sure. Alright, coming up nicely. Still have a little bit of altitude to go. Oh yeah, it's working perfectly fine. I really don't see what the issues of people are for 10 quiz aircraft. Again, and it's their first pro or expert series or whatever they call it. It's doing fine, like completely fine. Okay, let's turn inbound. Arm the approach. It got the lock. No issues there. We are going to overshoot it actually. Pretty sure it's going to catch up like without a problem. Got the glide slope as well. So now let's set the Vigo around. We need to turn that to take off again. You're down. Flaps. It's going to take some time to catch the ILS actually. Oh, what the freak is happening? Let's get some flaps. Am I still in flaps 15? Yes, I am. There we go. Nah, you're not over speed. Chill. Yeah, gear is below 160. Oh god. What is wrong with the ILS of the Isle of Man? Alright. Let's get it back. Did not do that in Edinburgh. I mean, obviously you haven't seen it because I was off stream, but I swear to god, it didn't do that in Edinburgh. It was completely fine, and in Manchester either. It was completely fine. I don't know if it's the ILS is wrong because of the localizer here, because the ILS is in MSFS have been known to be a little bit funky, let's say. Hold the flaps. Yeah, we're fine. There's some power now. Oh, that's too much power. Oh god. Yeah, the terrain thing is a little bit weird, to be honest. It's really sensitive on the throttle. But I know that's supposed to be the case. It is supposed to be sensitive on the throttle, so you know. It just said 500, by the way. So yeah, that was a weird approach. With the ILS and everything. The PAPI lights are completely off, because my landing cues are perfect there. I'm going to be at 50 over threshold. 50, there you go. Oh, too much, way too much. Ouch. Obviously it breaks like nothing when you have the reverses. Overflared there, but the approach was fine, so all good. Yeah, definitely was a floater. So yeah, full IFR flight. Everything is fine, really. I really don't get the complaints at all. Come on. I don't want to go back to wait, never mind. But yeah, it's perfectly fine, really. Okay, that ILS was weird. Not sure if it's the airport, because that's a flight sim.to airport, so maybe the ILS is wrong, I don't know. I haven't never flown an ILS in the Isle of Man before. But in Edinburgh it was perfectly fine. Completely fine. And in any case, that's something that is really easy to fix. I've done that on the A310. The A310 also had like weird autopilot issues that got fixed in like a week. And again, it's 10 pounds, people. And you have a working turboprop. So, you know, let's all chill on the... Am I going back to the runway? I am. Let's all chill on the, you know... It's shit and Asobo is doing whatever. It's a scam or... No. It's not. Captain Sim's aircraft are a scam. Alright? This is not a scam. It's a good aircraft. Just needs a little bit of work. If you know a little bit about hand flying, you're fine. See, just code the ILS, all good. I mean, the glide slope was fine, it's the localizer that was off. But yeah. And yeah, the throttles are a little bit finicky to set up and to use. I was literally between idle and like 5% power. But that's a very, very high performance turboprop, so... Again, very impressed with it. For their first one, it's like nothing I've ever seen, even in X-Plane. I mean, maybe I'm one of the only owners of the 650, but Jesus Christ, when the Challenger 650 came out, I mean, obviously it was like it's and still is like the most complex add-on ever, but was bugged as fuck. Same for the PMDG. This one is fine. Let's go 10. We're supposed to kill an engine. I didn't do that. Put the stop under your ass. There we go. The shutdown, I think it really is just a matter of checking that you are in TO here, that your flaps are up because you're going to lose power for the flaps. All your lats are in the good place. And then you just kill that thing. First to there. Once everything is good, to there. You are obviously going to lose power, but you can turn off the beacon and the ground crew is going to be like, hey, he wants the ground power. Put the wheel chokes and everything. Doesn't want to put the wheel chokes on. There we go. External power, external power. Seat belts. And here we are. Oh god. No APU? No, there's no APU on this one. Oh, I don't think so. Do you have a hole in the back? No, you don't. Is there a hole in the back? Why is Impulse never there when we are doing this? Kind of remarks. But no, there's no APU on this thing. It doesn't need it. Because there's basically just the lights in the in the cabin to power up on the battery, so... Yes, I just checked it if it had a hole. A back hole. Alright. I don't even have a screen because I literally just reinstalled OBS. I had that. I don't have a goodbye screen. So I'm going to say goodbye here. And keep that, I guess, as our final view of the aircraft. Again, if you are fine with, you know, making sure that your aircraft is doing what it's supposed to be doing, especially on the ILS, apparently, and again on 3 flights, that's the first time it's doing anything. It has done anything wrong with me. Then yes, this is a good aircraft. And people complaining either have an issue with life, I guess, or they don't know how to set up an aircraft properly, or bindings in MSFS, which, for their defense, to their defense, is a shit system. Like it's really awful what they have done. It's definitely not explained. Or DCS. DCS is the best again, but no surprise here. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you. I don't know how, or when, or what, or for what, or with whom. We'll see. All right. See you next time. Bye bye.